inscribed stones, ancient coins, lead weapons, and unexplained structures, all recovered from American soil, all initially examined by credible institutions, and all quietly pushed to the margins of accepted history. These are 10 physical finds suggesting Old World contact centuries before Columbus, ranked by the strength of their documentary evidence and the silence that followed. The strongest case begins in a sealed Tennessee burial mound, opened in 1889. Number 1, the Bat Creek Stone, possesses the clearest institutional paper trail of any disputed pre-Columbian find. Discovered on February 15, 1889, by Smithsonian technician John W. Emmert, the small siltstone tablet was recovered from an undisturbed burial mound in Loudoun County, Tennessee. This excavation was part of an official Bureau of American Ethnology survey directed by Cyrus Thomas, who cataloged the artifact under accession number 909022 and identified the carved symbols as Cherokee. The stone remained in official archives until 1971, when Semitic scholar Cyrus Gordon proposed that the inscription was actually ancient Paleo-Hebrew. While later critics challenged this reading, presenting evidence linking the characters to a 19th century Masonic text, the secure archaeological context of a federal excavation keeps the Bat Creek Stone at the center of the debate. Its documented discovery ensures its physical history remains part of the official record. In second place, the Tucson lead artifacts represent the most material-heavy discovery of disputed artifacts in North America. In 1924, prospectors unearthed a cache of 31 lead objects, including heavy crosses, short swords, and tablets, from a desert site near Silver Bell Road. These pieces bore Roman Latin inscriptions and symbols pointing to an early 6th century Mediterranean origin. The Arizona Museum of Natural History accepted the cache under Accession Log AZ 1924-31, establishing a formal documentary trail. However, mainstream scholars raised immediate objections, pointing out the lack of a controlled scientific excavation. Later metallurgical analysis using inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry revealed modern lead smelting signatures rather than ancient Mediterranean ore profiles. This physical evidence quietly shifted the massive collection from proof of Roman contact into the archives of historical anomalies. Third on our list, the Kensington Runestone represents the most enduring Scandinavian contact controversy in the American Midwest. Discovered in 1898 by Swedish-American farmer Olof Oman while clearing a field near Kensington, Minnesota, this dark gray-wacky slab features a runic inscription dated 1362. The find immediately drew intense scrutiny from historians and runology experts. Most academic consensus dismissed the stone as a 19th century creation, pointing to unusual rune shapes and linguistic patterns that mirror modern Swedish-American dialects. Still, the case remains persistently open for researchers due to an unresolved archival gap. Oman's original field notebook and the earliest documentation of the find were never digitized or cataloged, leaving a notable void in the primary chain of custody that prevents a clean, definitive closure to the mystery. Fourth on our list, Roman coins recovered in Illinois, Maine, and Texas present a geographical pattern rather than one isolated anomaly. In Whiteside County, Illinois, an excavation yielded a silver denarius dating to the Roman Republic. In Texas, another coin emerged from an indigenous earthwork, while similar issues appeared in coastal Maine. Numismatists verified their authenticity, confirming the correct weight, die style, and alloy composition of genuine currency. Yet, because these items were discovered in loose soil or disturbed strata, museums and state offices lacked the clean stratigraphic context required to prove ancient deposition. Instead of rewriting history, institutions archived the coins as individual curiosities, leaving these physical pieces of Roman silver out of the official timeline of early American contact. Fifth on our list, the Newport Tower in Rhode Island shifts the debate from portable artifacts to permanent stone architecture. First recorded in 17th century colonial documents, this circular dry stone monument has spent centuries dividing researchers. Proponents of early European contact point to its architectural design, noting that a high-resolution laser survey revealed a circular foundation plan unlike standard colonial windmills. This led 19th century antiquarians to argue that its masonry matches medieval Norse building techniques. Conversely, colonial historians argue the tower was merely a windmill built by Governor Benedict Arnold, whose 1677 will explicitly claims the structure. With state preservation offices repeatedly declining to fund comprehensive subsurface excavations, the architectural anomaly remains unresolved, leaving a standing stone mystery with no decisive archaeological consensus. In sixth place, the Los Lunas Decalogue stone presents a visually direct but highly controversial epigraphic anomaly in the American Southwest. Reported in New Mexico during the 1960s, this massive basalt boulder on Hidden Mountain features a 9-line inscription carved into a flat panel. Supporters quickly identified the characters as a Paleo-Hebrew translation of the Ten Commandments, claiming it as physical proof of an ancient Semitic presence. However, the discovery lacks the secure stratigraphic context of higher-ranked items on our list. Mainstream archaeologists raise major objections, pointing out that the sharp, clean cuts lack the weathered patination expected of ancient rock art. Instead, critics argue the carving represents modern graffiti or a 20th century creation, leaving this dramatic stone sidelined from academic research. Seventh on our list, Dighton Rock presents one of the oldest documented mysteries in North America. First recorded in 1680 by Reverend John Danforth on the Taunton River in Massachusetts, this 40-ton sandstone boulder features heavily weathered carvings. Documented by an 1853 daguerreotype and early hand-drawn transcriptions, the petroglyphs triggered multiple competing theories over the centuries. Scholarly interpretations attributed the markings to Native Americans, Phoenicians, Vikings, or Portuguese voyagers, with each hypothesis reflecting the personal bias of the interpreter. Because scientific dating cannot resolve the age of these markings without associated organic materials, the rock remains a victim of this interpretative drift. It rests in a local state park museum today, its true origin quietly left unresolved by contemporary historians. Eighth on our list, the Grave Creek stone serves as a vital cautionary case regarding pre-Columbian inscriptions. Reportedly recovered in 1838 during the excavation of the Grave Creek Mound in West Virginia, this small sandstone disc featured 25 mysterious characters. While 19th century archival materials preserved photographic records of the object, its credibility faltered when later epigraphic studies linked the carved characters directly to a 1752 book of Pseudo-Hebrew symbols. Today, the physical stone remains missing from public collections, having disappeared from easy access after its sale to a British museum. An unresolved archival gap persists surrounding the original 1838 excavation field notes, keeping this disputed artifact at the center of early American archaeological history. Ninth on our list, the Spirit Pond runestones of Maine were uncovered in Phippsburg in May 1971. A local carpenter found 3 distinct stones carved with symbols resembling Norse runes. The Maine State Museum purchased the set for $4,500, commissioning Harvard linguist Einar Haugen to lead the evaluation. Haugen determined the inscriptions combined inconsistent runic alphabets from different centuries, suggesting a modern origin. While a minority of researchers argued the carvings matched a specific medieval Norse dialect, the discovery lacked documented stratigraphic context. With original field photographs showing the stones were moved before analysis, and the museum's own petrographic studies remaining unpublished, the artifacts quietly transitioned into the archives of historical anomalies. 10th on our list, the Beardmore relics of Ontario offer a stark lesson in how easily archaeological context can dissolve. In the 1930s, prospector James Edward Dodd claimed to have unearthed a Viking age sword, axe, and shield near Beardmore. The Royal Ontario Museum acquired the items in 1936, displaying them as proof of a Norse presence in the Great Lakes. While the artifacts themselves were genuine 11th century Scandinavian pieces, subsequent investigations showed the discovery story was fabricated. Dodd had purchased the antiquities from a Norwegian immigrant to stage the find. The exposure of this hoax caused the museum to quietly withdraw the display, leaving the genuine ancient weapons forever separated from the official record of early American contact. Across these discoveries, a quiet pattern emerges. History is not just written, it is curated. When physical evidence challenges established timelines, academic institutions choose silence over revision. These sidelined artifacts prove our past remains open to discovery. Let us know your thoughts below.